Good morning. The Maryland Public Service Commission will come to order for its administrative meeting of May 25th, 2022. Good to see everybody this morning. We have a new addition on the bench. I'm very, very happy to welcome Patrice Bubar to the commission. She started on May 18th of last week, and she brings to this commission a wealth of knowledge and experience both in the environmental and energy sectors. For decades, she was a Fed down in Washington, working for both the EPA, the Department of Energy, and most recently the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Most immediately prior to joining the commission under her appointment by the governor, she was the deputy director of the Montgomery County Department of the Environment. So we're really excited to have Patty joining us. I asked her about some of her interests and hobbies, and she has none. I think she's a self-described workaholic, although she enjoys her, of course, her family, her children. She has 5 grandchildren that keep her very busy. So when she's not reading orders and studying tariffs, she'll be spending time with her family. So we're very happy to have her on the bench. She fills the remainder of Commissioner Herman's term. Commissioner Bubar.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Chairman, for those very nice remarks. I'm really very honored to be on this commission. I'd like to thank the governor for his appointment. I was very excited to be able to take advantage of this. And when I read about the colleagues on the commission, I was very impressed. And now that I've actually had a chance to meet with them and talk with them, it's just really such an honor to be with these esteemed colleagues. Everybody brings a wealth of experience. I feel like I've got a lot to catch up to get to their level, but I look forward to it. But I also want to just recognize in my first week here, it has just been so incredibly impressive to meet with the staff, both the advisory staff to the commission, as well as I'm starting to meet with some of the staff, which I'm learning meets the technical staff. And I'm actually going to do a walk around today so I could just hopefully meet more people in person. But it's just been incredibly impressed with the technical skills, the qualifications, the dedication of the staff that work here. And it's a small enough agency that I look forward to actually getting to know almost everybody over my time here. So so far it's just been a wonderful experience. I feel very welcomed and very excited about this opportunity. This is my first meeting, so I'm going to be hopefully following all the correct protocols and learning this. As the chairman said, I was at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, so I'm quite familiar with these procedures, but I've been working for the county for the last few years, so I'm just kind of have to get my head wrapped around doing business this way. But thank you to all for welcoming me, and I really look forward to my time here. This is just such an incredibly exciting time to be working on energy issues. I feel like the timing could not be better, and I feel like it's kind of like the pinnacle of my career to be able to bring together the experience that I have had. And this is my 3rd level of government. So I tried the federal government, I tried local government, and now I'm in state government. So I think at the end, I'll tell you which one is best. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Welcome again. Commissioner Linton is away on official business today. He's representing us in Chicago at the National Utilities Diversity Council, a very important effort there. So we wish him safe travels. In terms of a personnel announcement, welcoming Hunter Davis today. Hunter is originally from California, but he comes to us from the Iowa Utilities Board, where he served as a staff attorney for over a year and a half. During his time at the Iowa Board, he worked on rate cases, pipeline safety issues, a lot of the bread and butter that we work at here, as well as drafting legislation. So he'll have to figure out how we do things in Annapolis, and Commissioner O'Donnell can help you with that. Hunter obtained his law degree at Drake University, and he did internships with the Attorney General's office in Iowa, as well as the Consumer Advocate's office and the Meredith Corporation. He also obtained his bachelor's degree from Franklin and Marshall College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which Commissioner O'Donnell is also very familiar with. So, Hunter, welcome, and we were glad to have you as an addition to staff council today. I'd like to discuss our report card that we update quarterly with regard to retail suppliers in the state. Every 3 months, we update the report card, and it's raw statistical reporting of our complaint numbers. And I know our retail suppliers in the state, the several hundred that we have licensed, pay close attention. For the most recent quarter, for January, February, and March of this year, not pleased to announce that we have 2 new additions to this report card, including from WGL Energy Services and Josco Energy. They are new additions to this current fiscal year's statistical reporting. Additionally, we have some repeat suppliers that are making an appearance on this score sheet, including Greenlight Energy, SFE Energy Maryland, and Titan Gas and Power, doing business as Clean Sky Energy. This is a list that companies do not want to be on. I should note that the list also specifies when the Consumer Affairs Division and our Compliance and Enforcement Unit find in favor of the company as well as the customer. By looking at these statistics, you could see that ratio, and some are more concerning than others. However, if there's any silver lining to this, looking at the first 3 months of 2020 versus 2022, 2021, and 2022, our numbers have dropped precipitously in terms of complaints using this metric. So, for instance, during the first 3 months of 2020, we received 110 of these complaints that were logged using this score sheet. Then we went to 84, and this year 29. So 110 down to 84, down to 29 this year. So we're heading in the right direction. I give a lot of thanks to Karen Robinson, who is our manager of the CEU, as well as Stephanie Bolden, who is the the Consumer Affairs Director as well. So for those interested, you can access the scorecard. It's on the right side of our webpage under Energy Supplier Complaints. We'll keep looking. We'll keep the oversight hot and heavy as we continue to weed out suppliers that should not be doing business in our state. With that, Mr. Secretary, we'll move to the consent agenda. Oh, Mr. Secretary, we do have meeting minutes from our May 18th meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, we have 6 items on the consent agenda this morning. Item number 1 is Bullseye Telecom, Inc. and Matrix Telecom LLC, DBA Lingo, filed a joint request for the transfer of control of Bullseye Telecom, Inc. and Lingo entities and associated financing arrangements. Item 2 is IPC Network Services, Inc. and IPC Corp. that filed a notice of transfer of indirect control of IPC Network Services. And then items 3, 4, 5, and 6 are filings from the Potomac Edison Company, Delmarva Power and Light Company, the Potomac Electric Power Company, and the Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. They're all revised tariff pages, revisions reflecting revised standard offer service rates.
Thank you. Do my colleagues have any questions on these items? Seeing none, I would move that with respect to item number 1, that we note the filing. With respect to item number 2, I would move that we note the indirect transfer of control of IPC Network Services Incorporated. And with respect to items number 3, 4, 5, and 6, that we accept the revised tariff pages for filing with effective date of June 1st, 2022. The vote begins with Commissioner Bubar.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion are approved.
Mr. Chairman, first item on the administrative agenda, item number 7 is Elkton Gas Company, filed red line including copy tariff pages reflecting SCRIDE surcharges.
Thank you. Good morning to our staff. And if we have a representative from Elkton here, if you could take the podium. Elkton is a no-show today. Okay, the show is yours. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Zach Peterman on behalf of staff. On April 28th, 2022, Elkton Gas Company filed its revised tariff sheet number 45 to represent the STRIDE surcharge rates were previously approved by the Commission in case number 9660 on April 27th, 2022. Staff recommends the Commission accept the filing of the revised tariff pages with an effective date of May 1st, 2022. For any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Peterman, and welcome to your first appearance before the Commission.
Thank you.
Mr. Peterman, do you know the status of Elkton Gas this morning?
No, I was not aware that it wouldn't be showing up.
Okay. All right, if you could give them a call afterwards, and just, hopefully they're okay. So I'll turn to my colleagues to see if they have any questions on your item. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Peterman, welcome to your first commission, AM. And I have a habit of welcoming our new staff, making their first presentation by asking some very tough questions. So are you ready? I'm just kidding. I just want to be welcome. But yeah, we're glad you're here.
Thank you. Seeing no questions from Mr. Peterman, I move that we accept the tariff provisions with an effective date of May 1st, 2022. The vote begins with Commissioner Bubar. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richards. Aye. I vote aye. The motion is approved.
Next item on the agenda, item number 8, is the Potomac Edison Company file revised tariff pages. The company proposes to update the discount rates for the purchase of receivables.
Do we have a representative from PE with us? Oh, Mr. Trout, you were hiding behind Mr. Albert. We have all the big utilities here today. Mr. Justy, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Anson Justy on behalf of staff. On April 27th, 2022, the Potomac Edison Company filed revised tariffs to update its purchase of receivables, or POR rate. The company proposes a residential class POR rate of 0.8645% for the period of June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2023. The current POR rate is 0.1560% for the residential class. The POR rate for all other classes is currently 0 and is proposed to stay as 0. By letter order dated October 5th, 2009, the Commission gave the Potomac Edison Company broad guidance for establishing a POR rate so that retail electricity suppliers could use the utilities billing system. In exchange for this, the utility discounts the supplier's portion of customer payments to cover the utility's prudently incurred expenses. In this case, Potomac Edison will receive a 0.8645% discount on purchased receivables to offset expenses, and retail suppliers will receive 99.1355% of the total charge. Staff has reviewed the calculations used to determine the POR rate and concludes the resulting rates have followed previous procedure. Staff recommends the Commission accept the revised tariffs for filing with an effective date of June 1st, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel for the utility.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Jeffrey Trout. I'm counsel to the Potomac Edison Company. We have no additional comments. We agree with staff's analysis and recommendation, and I'm simply here to try to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Trout. I will make a global motion on the similar POR filings with the utilities. So if you could just stick with us, we'll turn to the next case unless my colleagues have questions on this case. Seeing none.
Next item, Mr. Chair, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company also filed proposed tariff revisions supplement 681 of the PSC E6. Again, the company proposes to update its discount rates for purchase of receivables.
Good morning, Mr. Sproul.
Morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Brett Sproul on behalf of staff. Welcome, Commissioner Bubar. On May 2nd, 2022, the Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, or PGE, filed proposed revisions to its electricity supplier coordination tariff in order to update its purchase of receivables, or POR, discount rate for electricity. In this filing, PGE is setting the residential POR rate at 0.7129%, the Type 1, Type 2, and hourly customer classes POR rates at 0.0% respectively. POR rate for residential customers was previously set at 0.0% and has increased since the previous filing due to the below normal uncollectible expenses associated with the COVID-19 pandemic in the previous filing, and the resumption of normal processes related to uncollectible expenses in the current filing. By letter order dated October 7th, 2009, the Commission gave PGE broad guidance for establishing a POR rate so that retail electricity suppliers could use the utilities billing system. In exchange for this, the utility discounts the supplier's portion of customer payments to cover the utility's prudently incurred expenses. In this case, PGE will receive a 0.7129% discount on purchase receivables to offset expenses, and retail suppliers will receive 99.2871% of the total charge for the residential customer class. Staff has analyzed and verified BGE's calculations used to determine the purchase of receivables discount rate for each customer class. It recommends the commission accept and revise tariffs for filing with an effective date June 1st, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sproul. Counsel for the utilities.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Brent Balea on behalf of Baltimore Gas and Electric. It's my first time here appearing on behalf of BG&E, so I guess it's a day of firsts. Welcome, Commissioner Bubar. It's nice to meet you, and I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, sir, and welcome to the commission. It sounds like Commissioner O'Donnell may have some tough questions for you. Sir, just so that I'm clear, the only change, I believe, as Mr. Sproul captured, is to the residential rate.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay. Everything else remains at zero.
correct.
Thank you. Seeing no additional questions, we'll push this item to the side and we'll turn to the next item.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, next item number 10 is Delmarva Power and Light Company. Filed revised tariff pages. The company proposes to revise its tariff pages with updates to the discount rates, again for purchase of receivables.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. David Hoppock on behalf of staff. By letter order dated October 5th, 2009, the Commission gave the Delmarva Power and Light Company broad guidance for establishing purchase of receivables, or POR, discount rates. Delmarva has filed revised POR rates effective June 1st, 2022. The proposed residential rate is 4.0471, increasing from the current 3.6769% rate. The proposed commercial classes POR rates remain unchanged at 0%. Delmarva is proposing to amortize 2020-21 residential uncollected costs over 2 years. Absent this deferral, the residential POR rate would increase to about 5.2%. Staff supports Delmarva's proposed amortization of 2021 residential uncollected costs over 2 years. This avoids more than a 1.5% increase in the POR rate and avoids a residential POR rate that exceeds 5%. Staff recommends that Delmarva's revised POR rates be accepted for filing effective June 1st, 2022. I am available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hoppock. I see Mr. Seegers here representing PHI. So why don't we roll into item number 11 as well, and we can have questions for 10 and 11. Mr. Secretary, do you want to call this item?
Item number 11 is filing from the Potomac Electric Power Company. Again, it's revised tariff pages, and also the company's proposing to update their discount rates for purchase of receivables.
David Hoppock, I'm sorry. Again, on behalf of staff, by letter order dated October 5th, 2009, the Commission gave the Potomac Electric Power Company, or PEPCO, broad guidance for establishing POR discount rates. PEPCO has filed revised POR rates effective June 1st, 2022. The proposed residential POR rate is 1.2577%, increasing from the current 0.3539% rate. The Type 1 POR rate is 0.2555%, decreasing from the current 0.3168% rate. All other commercial classes POR rates remain unchanged at 0%. Staff recommends that PEPCO's revised POR rates be accepted for filing effective June 1st, 2022, and I am again available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hoppock. Counsel for both PHI utilities, anything to add?
Nothing at all, Commissioner. And as counsel for BGE noted, this is a day of firsts. This is my first day appearing in this room since before the pandemic. So it's a pleasure to see everyone, and a special welcome to Commissioner Bubar.
Mr. Hoppock, good to see you as well. As we return to the commission hearing room, I recognize you had to get up early this morning, but it beats a daily commute from California. So
Indeed.
We do have some questions. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Hoppock. So as I look at these items on POR, what we have is the mail log applicator filings from the companies, and we have staff buck sheets. And I note the kind of conspicuous absence of any comments from anybody else. Have you had any discussions with RISA or with any individual suppliers or maybe with OPC about any of this? I find it, does anybody have any indigestion over this, or is everybody all good with it?
So prior to initiating the filings, PHI scheduled meetings to review the proposed filings and the proposed rates. Staff attended, as well as different suppliers. I would have to defer to Mr. Seegers if OPC was in attendance, and certainly, via that they were made aware of the filings. They attended the meetings, but and staff also made a point of making sure they were aware of the filings, but beyond that.
These folks are, thank you for that. These folks are experienced. If they wanted to say something, they would. I just find it nothing, there's nothing there. So I'd be interested in hearing from Mr. Seegers and then OPC and then maybe whoever else is going to help us.
Commissioner, as Mr. Hoppick indicated, we did schedule calls. Staff attended, and there were some suppliers. Mr. Green, who was the counsel for RISA, he attended. I do not recall if OPC attended, but they were invited. And we briefed them on the filing, and we addressed any questions that they had. As you indicate, they were certainly aware of our filings.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Joseph Cleaver on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel. Commissioner O'Donnell, thank you for the question. The Maryland Office of People's Counsel was made aware of these filings long before they were made, and we were, as Mr. Hoppick mentioned and Mr. Seegers, we were invited to attend meetings and calls. I didn't personally attend, but one of our attorneys, Ms. Pugh, did have the opportunity to attend, and we discussed this internally and didn't see any basis to object to the calculation of the discount rate in this instance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cleaver. Yeah, no one else. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no additional questions, I would propose a global motion for items numbers 9, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And that is that we accept the revised town pages for filing with an effective date of June 1st, 2022. The vote begins with Commissioner Bubar. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard. Aye. I vote aye. The motions are approved. With nothing else on today's docket, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.